If you've ever tried to dig into clay soil, you know the frustration. It's like working with concrete. You can water it all day, but it stays hard. Then, when it finally dries, it cracks into sharp slabs that choke roots and repel moisture. But here's the secret. You don't have to fight clay with brute force. I poured a simple, natural mixture over my clay soil, and within weeks it began cracking and loosening on its own. No backbreaking labour, no tilling, and no expensive soil amendments. Just a reaction between biology and the right organic acids. Let's break down exactly what I used, why it works, and how you can do it too. Clay soil becomes a gardener's nightmare because of its structure. Clay soil isn't bad soil, it's misunderstood. The problem lies in the size and behaviour of its particles. Each clay particle is incredibly fine, less than 2 microns across. That means it packs together tightly, leaving almost no space for air or water. When wet, it swells like a sponge and becomes sticky. When dry, it contracts and locks together, creating that hard, cracked surface we all dread. Most gardeners think the only solution is to add sand or compost in massive amounts, but that can take years to transform the structure. The truth is, clay can be opened naturally using the right chemistry, by changing the bonds that hold those tiny particles together. That's where organic acids and calcium solutions come into play. When I say I poured something over my clay and it cracked open, I'm talking about a specific mix calcium-enriched water with humic acid. These two ingredients work together to unlock the clay's structure from the inside out. Calcium replaces the sodium and magnesium ions that bind clay particles tightly together, while humic acid works as a natural chelator. It pulls apart those mineral bonds gently and allows air and water to penetrate. To make this mix, you can use 1 litre of water with 2 tablespoons of liquid calcium, or 1 cup of gypsum dissolved overnight if you're using the dry form. Then add 1 tablespoon of liquid humic acid or 2 teaspoons of powdered humic acid. Stir it thoroughly until everything dissolves. When poured over compacted clay, the reaction begins slowly but effectively. Within days, you'll notice the top layer softening and developing small fissures. After a few weeks, it starts breaking naturally, allowing roots to travel deeper. What's happening chemically is fascinating. Calcium ions carry a positive charge that displaces the sodium ions sitting between clay particles. Sodium causes swelling and poor drainage. When calcium replaces it, the particles flocculate. They cluster together in small crumb-like structures that let air and moisture flow freely. The humic acid amplifies this by binding to the calcium, helping it travel deeper into the clay and preventing recompaction. To get the full benefit, you need to apply the mixture evenly and at the right moisture level. Start when the soil is slightly damp, not soaked and not bone dry. This allows the solution to penetrate without running off. Use about 2 to 3 litres of the mixture per square metre of compacted soil. If your area is severely hard-packed, repeat the treatment every 2 weeks for the first month. After application, let the soil rest for a few days, then lightly water it to help the minerals migrate downward. Avoid tilling. It defeats the purpose. The goal is to let natural chemistry and microbial activity do the work for you. Over the next few weeks, beneficial microorganisms begin colonizing the loosened layers, feeding on the humic compounds and excreting enzymes that further break down the clay lattice. The cracks you see forming are not just dehydration. They're a physical sign that your soil is restructuring. Once the soil softens, top-dress it with a thin layer of compost or leaf mould. The loosened clay will pull the organic matter into its pores like a sponge. Within a season, you'll notice improved drainage, fewer puddles after rain, and deeper, healthier root systems in your plants. If you can't access liquid calcium, agricultural gypsum is your next best option. It's cheap, natural and available in most farm supply stores. To make a usable solution, Dissolve 1 cup of gypsum in 5 litres of warm water and let it sit overnight. Strain the liquid and apply it just like the previous mixture. If you don't have humic acid, you can substitute with compost tea. Brew 1 gallon of compost tea by soaking 2 cups of compost in a porous bag in non-chlorinated water for 24 hours, stirring occasionally. The microbial activity and mild organic acids from the tea will work synergistically with the calcium to break down the clay bonds. For smaller gardens, repeat this process once every month during the growing season. For larger plots, apply the solution before the rainy season, so the natural water movement helps carry the minerals deeper. Always follow up with organic mulch to protect the surface from sealing up again. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't just change how clay feels, it changes how it functions. By restoring the calcium to sodium ratio and feeding soil life with humic matter, you're rebuilding the soil's structure permanently. The next time rain hits, it soaks in instead of running off. Earthworms return, roots dig deeper, and plants stay hydrated even during dry spells. Gardeners often underestimate how much chemistry controls soil structure. It's not just about adding organic matter, it's about correcting the electrical and mineral relationships between particles. Once those are balanced, everything else follows naturally. The cracks that form in the clay aren't a sign of dryness. They're the soil exhaling after years of being suffocated. So that's the story behind what I poured over my clay soil that made it crack open naturally. It wasn't magic. It was smart chemistry and patience. A simple mix of calcium and humic acid changed the structure of my soil permanently, turning a patch of stubborn hardpan into productive ground without a single shovel strike. If you're tired of fighting your clay soil, give this method a try and document your progress. Share it with other gardeners who struggle with the same problem. Because once you understand how to work with your soil instead of against it, everything changes. If you found this guide useful, make sure to subscribe to Hydra Haven for more deep dive experiments, regenerative gardening tricks, and time-tested natural methods that actually work. Don't forget to share this video with a fellow grower who's battling clay. It might just save their garden.